Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you all are doing well. Before I get into today's conversation, I wanted to do a little bit of a wellness check in to see how you all are doing. I know a lot has been happening right now, and for different reasons, you may not be feeling your best. So let me know in the comments, like, how are you feeling today? And what are you doing? What are some of the things that you're doing to really put yourself first and really take care of yourself? I know some things that I'm doing is to try and find new ways to release some of the tension and some of the stress that I may be feeling. One thing that I really enjoy doing, which actually surprised me because I didn't think that I would have been great at it or good enough at it to say, "Oh, I love the way this looks," is that I did a little bit of painting the other day. I wish I had my photo here. Like, this was so impromptu in terms of what in terms of what I was going to share at the moment. I wish I had my painting at hand, but I'll share a photo of it in the comments so that you can see it. It was a guided paint and sip experience, different from the ones that you may have attended before. This one was more of following someone, like a YouTuber, like teaching via YouTube as to how to paint and starting just to kind of bring that paint into life. And I'm super, super proud of myself. And so that's one way that I'm trying to find new ways of releasing some of the tension, of really finding joy and finding moments that I can celebrate and moments that I can relax as well. So let me know in the chat, like, what are some ways, like, how are you feeling right now, first of all, and what are some ways that what are some new things that you're trying to release some of that tension? For those of you who new to following me on here on LinkedIn, if you're new to me, I'm Salida Roberts. I'm founder of Style to Impact. And my role, one of the things that I enjoy most in my business is to help women, especially when women of color, change the narrative surrounding their appearance and break that glass ceiling, as I like to say it, and really embrace their image and their style and personality based on who they are, and show up as their most authentic self in the spaces that they're going into. So today I wanted to, another thing just before we get into today's conversation, which is really about how to define your personal style and image based on your own terms, right? This is breaking that glass ceiling, as I spoke about earlier, in crafting your personal style based on your personality, based on your identity, and not one that's dictated and determined by anyone else, but you put yourself at the center of your style. So before I get into that, I wanted to share a little bit on the workshop that I'm having. Like, I'm super excited for that. Just seeing the conversations and hearing getting your feedback and your questions so far in DMs is just really exciting, because this is something that I've held back on for a while. Because if I'm to be honest, I was scared of publicly putting myself out there, saying that, even though I'm putting myself out there, which is kind of crazy, I was still scared of publicly saying, "Hey, here's it, I'm hosting this workshop, the Style and Body Confidence workshop." And I felt just saying that and putting it out there, I was like, oh, what if no one attends, right? I was, having that moment where I'm predetermining the results before actually getting the results. And so this is my stretch out of my comfort zone and saying, you're already, like, Salida, you're already putting yourself out there. You're already talking about your service. You're already working with women on their personal style and their image. Like, you're already doing it. What's the difference between what you're doing on a one-on-one basis and wanted to have this workshop? And I'm going to share just a little bit on that, is that a couple of years ago, I decided I wanted to, like, I was going through that phase of trying to find my creative bone. And so I called creative bone. And so I started a business that called the Accessories Gallery, to sell jewelry. I'd love costume jewelry. I love statement pieces. But something that I found is that there wasn't anyone at the time in Antigua that was selling high level, high quality costume jewelry. So I was like, okay, this is a great place for me to get into because I love fashion, I love style, I love, clothing and accessories. I love all these different things. So, starting the accessories gallery was just like the next thing, right? It just so all happened that everything just come together. And so I did all the planning, the marketing. I did, just getting the inventory, getting the pieces, getting the mannequins to put it on. And like on the day of, everything was perfect, except it rained and it rained and it rained and it rained. And so it affected my pop-up launch of my business. And so from then I've been suffering from like that fear of putting myself that publicly out there and having no one show up, right? And so at the end of the day, I had to do some self-reflection and realize that in that moment, though, what I think I had maybe 5 sales that day, someone, 5 persons showed up and they purchased pieces. And from then, my business continued to grow and exposure was there. But I looked back at the time, I didn't see the lesson in that moment. And so deciding to do this workshop, I had to then go back to that place of why was I holding myself back? What was so scary for me? And reassessing that moment and pulling the lessons and pulling the wins out of that. So this is why one of my personal reasons for having the style and body confidence workshop, which just to share a little bit on that, it's 2 days. It's August 30th and 31st. On day one, we'll talk about defining your personal style on your own terms. What does that look like? Having a clear understanding as to what your personal style is does actually make it easier for you to, one, when you're going shopping, you know exactly what to buy, and also knowing, okay, my personal style is more of a classic creative style. So I know what are those elements that I need to add into my wardrobe that will allow me to not only operate on my day-to-day, coming on lives like this, but also going to in-person events and, being confident knowing that I'm showing up as my authentic self, being confident knowing that the clothes that I'm wearing, I'm comfortable in it, and the image that I'm presenting and I'm portraying and I'm communicating is one that I would like to communicate. So that's day one. On day two is getting an understanding as to what your body type is. I know a lot of you may have gone through some different changes with your body right now. You're trying to figure out, how do I dress my current body type? How do I make sure that should my weight fluctuate and changes again, it's not going through that overwhelm and uncertainty as to what to wear. So we have a clear definition. At the end of it, you have a clear understanding as to what your body type is. What are some of those pieces that you need to fit and flatter your body type? How to make those different transitions should your body weight, size fluctuate and change, and not feel as though you're still stuck in a style rut, right? And then, of course, like, how do you create outfits, not only with the things that you have in your closet, but being able to create well-balanced outfits so that you are not just wearing clothes for the sake of wearing clothes, but you're projecting the right image. You are, you know exactly how to style yourself. And so taking away some of that frustration and confusion that you may be having right now. So this workshop is for you. If any of these resonate with you, then definitely this is the workshop for you. This is your opportunity to sign up and get into this space with other women who are going through similar things like you, and who understand the importance of getting out of that overwhelm and that frustration and anxiety when it comes to really understanding what their personal style is and how to dress their body. So if you find yourself that you're stuck in a style rut, like your clothes in your closet no longer represents the person that you are today. Maybe you have changed jobs, maybe your lifestyle have changed, maybe your location that you're living has changed as well. And so what's in your closet is not necessarily translating to where you are today. And so you want to create a wardrobe or build a wardrobe with intentionally, and also ensuring that, you have the right pieces in your closet without spending too much time and money trying to create it through trial and error. This workshop is also for you if you find that, again, there's that misalignment, right, in terms of how you want to show up and what your image and message is. If you find that, for instance, like right now, there is this whole sense of like, what do I wear now? Like, you want to wear clothes that's comfortable but also professional. It's like, what do I wear right now? If you find yourself in that space where you're unsure as to how to dress for today's world, while at the same time wearing clothing that's comfortable for you but looking polished, then this workshop is for you. Also, it's for you if you're going through maybe you're going to, you're putting yourself a little bit more out there, becoming more visible in your business, becoming more visible in your career. So you're getting your speaker and you're ramping up your speaking engagements. So you have more in-person speaking engagements happening for you right now, like you have those on the books. Maybe you are positioning yourself to go into a new industry, into a more managerial role, a more executive role. And so you want your image to translate well within those spaces. But again, you want to be able to feel confident and comfortable wearing the things that you are wearing. Then this workshop is definitely for you. If you're also feeling as though like nothing fits, nothing in my closet fits, I need to lose weight first before I go shopping, before I define what my personal style is, then I highly recommend that you join this workshop, because you do not need to lose weight first to show up for yourself, right? If that's the mindset around showing up for yourself, then you are losing opportunities where you can advance in your career or in your business, right? So maybe you're waiting until you lose that weight to show up on camera. Maybe you're waiting to lose that weight to pitch yourself for more speaking engagements or more workshops. Or maybe you're holding back and waiting until you get to that ideal weight so that you can go in and say, I've been working here for a couple of years now. I think, not I think, like, we need to talk about, increasing my salary or giving me that promotion. So holding back on your image and what you wear will affect these opportunities that you want. And now is the perfect time to not only improve your professional skills, not only improve your social skills and your soft skills, but also to improve how you are presenting yourself, how you are dressing, and how you are showing up. Now, here's my caveat. It doesn't matter if you feel confident in sweatpants, t-shirts, and jeans, or you feel confident in power suits and dress skirts. It doesn't matter. What matters more is ensuring that you are looking and portraying the image and message that you want, wearing the things that you want to feel confident in. So for instance, if you find yourself like, I'm not a makeup person, and as a speaker, or maybe you're going in for an interview, like, oh, everybody's wearing makeup and makeup is not my thing, and so you're feeling like this need that you need to do that. Like, you don't. If makeup is not your thing, then you don't need to going with a full beat face. You can wear some lip gloss. You can wear, like, there are different things when it comes to your style and your appearance that you can do that is authentic to you. So this is why I'm having this workshop, so that you can get a true understanding as to how to style yourself based on how you want to show up and how you want to feel, and not to fit into any society's definition of beauty or anything like that, right? So I wanted to also address some frequently asked questions that I've been getting in my inbox and in emails. I know some of you have asked, will the sessions be recorded? Absolutely. Both days will be recorded. so that if you have to leave early or maybe you miss a day, you can always go back and watch the replay and work through the workbook that you're receiving your email to go through and answer those questions and really craft your personal style and create that look that you want. So there is a workbook for both days, where on day one, we'll go through defining your personal style for you. And there's some questions, there's some worksheets that you will go through to really narrow it down to what your personal style is. And of course, added bonus to that, with not only are the sessions being recorded, but you will also have me for 7 days after the workshop is over. So that, let's say, for instance, you have a question based on your personal style that you're trying to figure out, okay, I have 2 different personal styles, so later I'm finding that I'm classic and I'm creative at the same time. I don't quite understand, like, how do I put the 2 together and have that translate in my personal and professional life. If you have any questions within that 7 days, then of course you get me on demand to answer those questions for you. And so that's what I wanted to, in terms of frequently asked questions. I know the other thing that someone asked me to reconfirm as to the workshop days, and to reiterate that the workshop days are on August 30th and 31st. And so to register, you go to styleteimpact.com/confidence. Let me put that on the screen. So to register for this 2-day workshop, you go to styleteimpact.com/confidence. I am looking forward to seeing you all there. So that's a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of what's happening with the workshop. So yes, looking forward to seeing you there. So I'm going to take that off. And so to jump into today's conversation of how, because it all ties in, right? It's really redefining and defining your personal style and image for yourself on your own terms, and not what society or anyone else think that you should do. So I want you to think about this question as I go along, is looking at your closet right now, or looking at what you're wearing right now. Are you wearing something that you decided on, or is it something that you were told that you should wear? Do you have pieces in your closet based on your own personal style, your own personal self-expression, or is there pieces in your closet that you have them specifically because you were told, okay, these are the 10 pieces that you need to have in your professional wardrobe? So hold that question as we go along, and think about that as we go along throughout this session. And so something that I find is that, because we are judged on our appearance, like it's unfair, but it's something that happens. It's something that, when it comes to first impression, that we form certain opinions on. And I like to look at our first impression and these judgments as not in a negative way. At least I don't view it that way. So I want you to think about your image and your first impression message from this standpoint. Like, what are you saying that's going to allow someone to see a connection or commonalities and form conversations with you? So I always think of our appearances and how we perceive each other from that perspective of, is there something about this person that I find myself like I have something in common with, right? And to give you an example, a couple of months ago, I went to a networking event. Actually, not a networking event. It was an event for women in tech, law, and STEAM. And so I was volunteering at that event. And so as volunteers, we were given a uniform of black and white. We had to wear a white top, black bottoms. That was it. And so the attendees obviously were able to wear what they're most comfortable with within a business casual environment, setting. That was the dress code. And so I remember standing at the entrance and saw from the corner of my eyes, there was a lady coming into the room, and she was wearing this beautiful outfit, white blazer, a pink top, and a pretty floral skirt. And immediately I was like, oh my gosh, because what happened in that second, I saw, based on her appearance, some things that I can connect with. I saw the bold colors. I saw pink, which is one of the colors that I wear a lot. Like, when I looked at her, I saw things that we can have a conversation on, and I saw a connection, like a connection point. So you want to think of your appearance like that when you're crafting your appearance and your style and thinking about your image and your message. Is that, what is that connection point? How do you express your individual personality through the clothing that you wear, right? And so something that I found is that self-advocacy, when we think about it, is like, how do you advocate for yourself through style, through your wardrobe, through your appearance? Can you, right? Can you advocate for yourself through what you wear? And the answer is yes, right? Absolutely yes. Because when you make certain judgments and you set certain boundaries on what you wouldn't wear and what you like and don't like, you're advocating for yourself and you're saying no to certain things, right? And you're saying yes to certain things because it empowers you, because it makes you feel great. And so it had me thinking about, like, when we were kids, and maybe you have kids and your kids get to that age where they're like, oh, I want to pick out my own outfit, or they're telling you no to the things that you may be deciding, like, oh, you should wear this or you should wear that. And it's like, no, I don't want to wear that. I want to wear this pants and I want to wear this shirt. And so they're advocating for how they want to show up, right? I know, like, we have a family friend, like, she does not like dresses. Like, you cannot put her in a dress. She absolutely refuses to wear dresses. And so she's advocating and saying, I do not like dresses. It does not make me feel confident. It does not make me feel comfortable in it. And so it's up to us now to listen to what she's saying, how she wants to express herself and her identity. And so being able to advocate for yourself in your wardrobe looks like this. It looks like you saying, when you're told that in order to look professional, you should wear black and white. And you're saying, but that's not who I am, right? It's not a uniform. There's a difference between a uniform and a dress code, right? A uniform is where you're given a specific look, color, cut that you need to wear on a daily basis. A dress code is where you're saying, in this environment, we would like everyone to dress business casual, or we would like everyone to have more of a smart casual, or it's a traditional setting, right? So the difference is that with the uniform, you don't get to choose what you wear on a daily basis. Think of the military, think of being a nurse or a doctor. Those are uniforms. When it comes to dress codes, you get to decide how you express yourself within that environment, but at the same time showing up appropriately dressed. So if you're working in a business casual environment where that environment is saying to you, okay, no jeans, probably some environments will say jeans are not accepted as a form of clothing to wear, and you're wearing jeans and sneakers, baseball cap, and a t-shirt into a business casual environment, then you're not dressing appropriately for the environment. Business casual is more like, when you think about smart, you're thinking about button-down shirts, you're thinking about slacks, you're thinking about, I mean, you can wear sneakers, but your sneakers can be a little polished and stylish, right? So that's the difference. So advocating for yourself when it comes to how you do that through your wardrobe is saying, professional in the past might have looked like a black and white uniform. However, that is no longer, that's no longer accepted. That's not who I am. And I am going to conform to the dress code of a business casual or casual dress code, but I'm going to wear clothing that truly aligns with who I am. Another way that you can advocate for yourself within when it comes to your wardrobe and your appearance is saying, let's say for instance, you may be a black woman and you're told again that, oh, if you go in with your natural hair, you may not be taken seriously. And you're saying, but I embrace my natural hair. I love my natural hair. It is part of who I am. And I'm going to show up in that space with my natural hair. And that is advocating for yourself. That is going against everything that's telling you not to be who you are and deciding that you are going to show up in that space and be exactly who you are. Right. And that is how you advocate for yourself through your wardrobe and through the clothing that you wear and your appearance. Now, I want to share with you 3 things that you can do to improve your style, improve your appearance, to really reflect who you are, to really be in alignment with your identity, your personality, and at the same time, making sure that you are showing up authentically and appropriately for those environments that you're going into. So the first thing is you have to start within. You have to start within. Most of clients that I've worked with in the past, clients that have persons that I've spoken to, there's this idea that style starts with clothes. Like, to have a better style means I need to go and buy more clothes. Anytime you think about being in a style role, what's the first thing that you say? Oh, I need to buy new clothes. Every time you get an invitation, what's the first thing you say? Oh, I need to go and buy new clothes. But your style doesn't start with clothes. Your style actually starts with you, right? Who are you as a person? What are some, and when we think about defining your style on your own terms, right? And starting within is understanding and looking and see if there's a disconnect between who you are and how you're showing up. Like, for instance, one of the exercise that we will go through during this style and body confidence workshop is to identify 3 words that you would like to use to describe yourself, or 3 words that you can use to describe yourself. Like, how would you describe yourself using 3 words? And then what happens, we will take those 3 words and then match it to the different style types, right? So you're not saying that, okay, one of your word maybe I want to be creative and fun. Creative and fun simply means that when I look in your closet, you should have colors, you should have like interesting patterns and prints. If that's, patterns and prints is something that you like, then you should have that being reflected in your closet. But if you're saying you want to be creative and fun, and I'm looking in your closet and it's all black and white, then there's a disconnect between who you are and the pieces that you have in your closet, which means that you're showing up differently. And so you will find yourself feeling insecure. You'll find yourself feeling self-conscious. You'll find yourself feeling frustrated. You're trying to figure out, why am I not good at this style thing? And that's it, because you're starting with buying clothes and trying to add what everyone else is saying that you should have in your closet, instead of looking within yourself, doing that self-discovery and truly understanding, like, who am I? Like, I remember my therapist asking me that question, and I was like, what? Like, who am I? It's a difficult question to answer if you've never sat down with yourself and really be honest with yourself. Like, who am I? Because once you really understand who are you, then you look at your life and who you are differently, and the different areas of your life, to see how are you showing up, and is everything in alignment with who you are, right? I had a Instagram live today with a past client of mine, and she was, she shared with me, Jamila Macmello, and she shared with me that when we were going through her style session and we're trying to put together, because I wholly believe in shopping your closet first before you go outside, right? Because if you don't know what's inside your closet, you don't know if the things within your closet aligns with who you are, then all you're doing is buying and adding more clothing, right? So we went through her session, and the first thing we did was to shop her closet. And so we're putting together these outfits and trying to get her to reflect who she was and who she was becoming through, and connect that to the clothing that we were, the outfits and the clothing that she had. And there was a disconnect. There was an absolute disconnect. And in the moment, I was going through and we're trying new things and I'm suggesting new things. And she actually said to me, she was like, I realized that the person that I was becoming and the person that I am and I was at that time, my closet wasn't reflecting that, right? You can go and listen to, the conversation that we had together on Instagram there, where she's being so candid and honest about the misalignment between the person that she knew she was and how she wanted to show up, and that not and looking in her closet and realizing there's a disconnect, it's not being reflected. And at that moment, she, and during that self-discovery moment, realizing that, okay, it's not that I don't have clothes, or it's not that, I may not have the right pieces, it's that there's a disconnect. And so the pieces in my closet no longer supports the person that I am. And so we had to go through that whole process of identifying what are some of the pieces that she does need to add in her closet that's going to reflect her. So first thing that you need to do when it comes to improving your style and ensuring that it matches your appearance and style, and ensure that it matches your identity and personality on your own terms, is to do that self-discovery work, to go within and really understand if there's a disconnect between who you are and how you want to show up. And so the second thing is to just coming back, because once you do that internal work, the second thing is that you have to then embrace what makes you different. For a lot of us, we find it difficult to embrace the things that makes us different, right? Because we're constantly comparing ourselves to this idea of what perfect is, this idea of what perfection looks like, this idea as to, who we should be, when really and truly what needs to happen, we need to let go of who we think we should be and really embrace who we are. If you are not a power suit person, there should be absolutely no reason why you are wearing a power suit. And a power suit, it's like, we know it's the pants and the blazer. If that's not who you are, absolutely do not wear that, right? If you are not a heels person, but everyone is like, oh, to be a speaker, you need to wear heels to go on stage, or, you need to wear heels in this business environment. If that's not who you are, do not wear it, right? So embrace what makes you different. Like the things that you think make you different is actually what makes you unique. It's actually an opportunity for you to really express your personality, to show people what makes you you by going against, like I'm all for going against the grain. I appreciate rules. I appreciate, having guidelines. I'm also that person, is if there's no like concrete actual this is what needs to happen rule, especially when it comes to style, there's no rule. You create the rules for yourself, and you ensure that when you're creating these rules and deciding what you want to wear, is just making sure that you appropriate for the environment, right? So if you're saying I want to be bold and fun, and you're going to a conference, is deciding what's appropriate for that environment that you're going into. What do you want to wear? So wearing a bathing suit to that conference is not a good idea, even though you may, love swimwear, but you just need to make sure that whatever you're wearing is translating well into the environment that you're going into without losing your authentic self. So allow yourself to be who you are. Go within to really identify what are some things about you that you may be holding back on, that you want to wear. Maybe that's adding more colors to your wardrobe. Maybe that's foregoing the heels and wearing flats. And throughout the workshop, we will talk about like the appropriate shoes to go with different outfits, how to decide what that looks like. And if you are wearing flats, like how to elevate your look, even though you're wearing flats, right? Like flats is like, it's not for me. I'm actually like, I prefer heels. I feel more powerful. I feel more great in it. But I do have a couple of flats that I wear because there are some occasions that I will wear flats. But I ensure that, you know, the flats that I'm wearing, they are not, they're providing some form, they're stylish, so to speak, right? They're stylish. They're not like look, when you look at my feet, you don't go, okay, what's happening down there? They're stylish and appropriate for, you know, the rooms that I'm going into and completing my outfit to give me that polished look that I'm going for. And so it brings me to my third way or thing that you can do to improve your style right now, to improve your image right now, to match who you are on your own terms, and that is to rebuild your wardrobe, right? I know the thought of rebuilding, like you hear, oh my gosh, I have to rebuild my wardrobe. This is going to cost me some monies because I'm going to have to buy new pieces. I'm going to have to, you know, this investment, I have to make this investment into building a wardrobe. Like, how can I do that? And at the same time, meet all the different obligations that I have, right? But here's the thing. If you continue wearing clothes that no longer fits you, that you no longer feel great in, you're actually doing yourself a disservice simply by trying to fit into something that doesn't reflect you, trying to fit into something that doesn't fit. So you're uncomfortable, you're not happy, you don't feel confident. So when you're thinking about defining your style and improving your wardrobe and rebuilding your wardrobe, during this workshop, what happens, you'll get a better sense of what you should buy now or what you need to buy, how to make the right investments, brands that you can shop that's going to allow you to buy quality pieces so that you can have a sustainable wardrobe. When it comes to rebuilding your wardrobe, like, I don't subscribe to, unless you have the monies, is that you can go and you can, like, you know, you need 20 pieces and you can go get all 20 pieces at once. If you can't, there is nothing wrong with making a list and setting a budget, right? And we'll decide during the workshop, like, what are your 10 pieces that you need right now, or maybe your 5 pieces that you need right now, like your core pieces based on your personal style and based on your body type that you can add to your closet, that's going to allow you to show up confidently, that's going to allow you to create the impact and influence that you need to get you those opportunities that you need. So if you're joining me late into the conversation, I want to thank you very much for joining me live. If you're watching the replay, thank you very much for coming back and listening. I appreciate that. And I was just reading Katie's comment here that you shop flea markets, secondhand stores, and other places. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with, there's nothing, it's not where you shop or how much money you spend. It is the quality of the pieces that you're purchasing. It is also purchasing pieces that reflects your personal style and identity. So I want to make that very clear, because you can be spending a lot of monies on clothing and buying the wrong pieces, the wrong things that does not allow you to feel confident or reflect your personal style. Right. So, and that's what we will go through during the Style and Body Confidence workshop. Some of the things we'll talk about is really deciding for yourself based on your budget, what are some of the pieces do you need to add in your closet? Where can you go and shop for those pieces? I'm putting together a checklist of over 40 brands that you can look at, that based on your budget, and you can pick and say, okay, this one works for me based on my budget, and you get the pieces, quality pieces and right pieces to put in your closet so that you can show up for yourself today, so that you can say today, I am making a decision to advocate for myself through what I'm wearing. Because once you advocate for yourself through your wardrobe, everything that you do on a daily basis starts in your closet. And so it's important that what you wear reflect who you are. So if you're interested in joining the workshop, I'm going to put that up there again. It's the Style and Body Confidence Workshop. To register, go to styletaimpact.com/confidence. The workshop is happening on August 30th and 31st. If you sign up and something happens and you're not able to make it live, you can also watch the replay. You will also have 7 days access to me. So should you have any questions afterwards, you can send me your questions and we can problem solve and brainstorm any area that you need to work through. So again, to register, go to styletaimpact.com/confidence. And I look forward to seeing you all on August 30th and 31st. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and looking forward to connecting with all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.